Hey, what's up guys? So Escort's beginning to roll out a series of updates. Hey, okay, that wasn't planned at all, but a series of updates for a lot of their Blackfin DSP detectors like the Redline 360C. Now, the reason why I just got another Redline, I'll explain here in just a second, but as you guys know, some of the detectors here have had some issues with response time, basically being slow to alert once they begin actually detecting radar. Now, that's been a kind of a complaint here that we've had for a while, and Escort's been working on this, and it looks like they're finally going to be releasing a set of updates across their different Blackfin DSP detectors. It's going to be 2 different updates, and the first part of the update is going to go ahead and start rolling out now. Now, I've been chatting with Escort about this as far as kind of like what performance targets, in my opinion, I think would be what they should be aiming for. Maybe testing some kind of earlier versions of the firmware. I was actually trying to do some testing here with my Redline 360C, but unfortunately I haven't been able to get the firmware loaded here on my detector, and for that reason they actually just sent me out a replacement detector to do some testing with, and I'm going to send this one back so they can take a look at it and see kind of what's going on there. But with that said, let's go ahead and start taking a look as far as some of the details here, as far as these new updates that are now beginning to roll out. Now, with this latest update, there's a number of improvements that they're offering here for a variety of different detectors. Now, primarily one of the big focuses here is improving the response time on the Blackfin DSP-based detectors. So like the Redline 360C, the Max 360 Mark II, the Max 360C Mark II, etc. Now, as far as the response times themselves, Escort is saying that they're seeing about a 25% reduction in response time, and so it should be alerting faster now compared to before as far as how long it takes to begin alerting when it sees police radar. Now, that said, there's some additional improvements that they want to see as well. This is the first of a 2-part firmware update. And so they're going to be continuing to improve the response time here on the detector, and then they're going to roll out a second update as well. In some of the earlier testing, people are reporting, for example, that it's faster on 35.5 than it is on 34.7 and 33.8, but there are improvements across the 3 different kind of frequency ranges on Ka-band. This update is also going to help improve the response time on K-band as well. Now, something that could be the case here is that with the reduction in response time, it doesn't have as much of a delay, right? There's not as much potentially signal analysis going on. I'm not sure exactly kind of what they're doing behind the scenes, if the delays are necessary for signal analysis or if that's just part of the filtering, so to speak, kind of like TSR is, but there's actually the possibility that we could see some increased false alerts on K-band. And so for that reason, I actually want to take this new Redline 360C with the latest update and compare it to the custom installed Redline CI 360C in my car as well. I'm not going to be updating the Redline CI quite yet, because I want to kind of test like the old firmware versus the new. Escort did say that with these 2 detectors being stealth, it is safe for me to actually run both of them in the car at the same time, one in the windshield, second down in the grill, without any worries of interference. And so I should be able to run both of those and get a sense of like, are there certain cars that are triggering maybe the windshield mount or the older firmware rather, but not the new, etc. Now, this update is going to be rolling out to a whole variety of different Blackfin DSP detectors. I'll put the whole list here on screen so that you can take a look. It's not just the Redline, it's the other Blackfin detectors as well. Now, they're also going to be updating the Cobra Rad 700i as well. That's kind of a long-awaited firmware update to do things like make the display brighter and easier to see in the daytime, or give us a toggle switch for MRCD. So instead of photo radar detection always being on, now we have the option to turn it off if it's not used in our area. But primarily, especially for this video, I kind of wanted to focus on these updates here for the Blackfin-based detectors. Next, Escort's also saying that they've improved the sensitivity here with this latest update as well. Exactly how much, we'd have to go out and test to see for sure, right? So for that reason, I think it would be a nice time actually to like go back out, weather time permitting, to like go do a big shootout, you know, to test like the new Redline with the latest firmware update. The V1 Gen 2 has a little while ago got a firmware update to give us like more sensitivity, longer range effectively. I just got a lot of these custom install detectors installed in my car, so I could do a big shootout now with like all the top detectors, both windshield mount and custom installed head to head. Definitely take a lot of time to go do all that kind of stuff, but it's something that when time allows, I'd like to go out and do as well. So of course, as always, more testing to come. Moving on, Escort's also saying that they've got some improvements to the kind of detector's ramp up for like quick, strong signals as well. That should be good. One thing that I've seen is sometimes like when you get a quick, strong signal, maybe like you'll see the alert on screen, but it might take a little while to be able to hear the alert, or there could actually be a delay to where like the signal's really strong, but it's like, oh, I'm going to take my time here, and then, oh, by the way, full strength alert. So I'm hopeful that that's what this update this component of the update entails, but again, we'll have to test and see how it fares in testing. And on a related note, looks like they've also fixed an audio issue where sometimes the tone would not play prior to the voice in a radar alert, so just another audio improvement. As far as pop radar, most people don't run it. But if you do run Pop Radar, it says that they're actually reducing the false alerts on Pop, which is definitely welcome. Falses on Pop can and definitely do happen, just like K-band falses or photo radar falses, that kind of stuff. And so they're going to be reducing the Pop falses as well for anybody, I guess, that's running with Pop mode enabled. Then when it comes to laser, they're also adding the laser gun ID. So when you're getting shot with laser, it should be able to identify what laser gun you're getting shot with. It sounds like you're not required to use like one of their laser jammers, like the new ZR6, for example. The detector, just like the Unidens now, should be able to actually identify kind of the pulse rate of the laser gun that you're being hit with and then display the ID of the laser gun on screen. So something else to test as well. Then as far as Drive Smarter with their app, there are, looks like, 2 different updates. Number one, they've added a capability to change the volume setting in the Drive Smarter, so the app should now be able to change the volume of the detector as well. They've previously added that to just the international version of the detector. Now it looks like those of us in North America are going to be able to get that as well. And then finally, they said that they've fixed the live alert types. So the cloud alerts for, like, your radar and laser and that kind of stuff, looks like they've got some fixes for the alerts that you're getting, over the air as well. And so that's kind of the list of updates here for the red line. For the other detectors, it might vary a little bit. I don't have all the details yet. I'm kind of shooting this video before the updates go live so I can kind of hit the big button once they start to roll out. I'm actually going to be busy kind of like when the updates roll out, so I kind of wanted to get this video out ahead of time, or shot ahead of time. But some of the other detectors, like the Max Cam, for example, might have some additional updates. Some of them might have more or less, whatever, that kind of stuff. But that's kind of the general idea, specifically with the red line, and a lot of the stuff should overlap with their other Blackfin detectors as well. So to update your detectors, if you've got Wi-Fi, you're going to be able to update over Wi-Fi. If you want to plug it into the computer and update, you can use Escort's Detector Tools Pro software, available for Windows and Mac. And when all this stuff goes live, you can just start checking on like the forums, for example. That's usually where people are posting the change logs and saying, like what the changes are, if it's working well, sharing their results. Sometimes the updates are first available for Bluetooth and then later on Wi-Fi and vice versa. So like for more detailed discussion of all that kind of stuff, you can head to the forums and I'll link to that down underneath the like button, along to like where you can go and purchase the different detectors that are being updated. I'll have a list of the different detectors that are getting an update as well. All the additional resources and stuff, as always, are going to be down in the description for you. So big thank you to Escort for like continuing to work on these detectors and make honestly some much needed improvements. This was an area of concern for me for sure, especially on like a high-end flagship detector. I really want to see it responsive. The Unidens and the V1 Gen 2 are very responsive, and I'm glad to see that Escort is working on catching up in this regard as well. So with that said, that's kind of like a heads up as far as these latest updates and what the different changes entail. Thanks so much for watching. Hope you guys are doing great, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.